Hey, 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 what's going on, YouTube land? This is your boy TJ. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Wrestling Nostalgia, where I do the reviews for the WWE show. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to review Raw from last night, the MLK edition of the episode. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So the WWE commentary team are hyping up the main event for tonight, which is Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Jinder Mahal. And people are giving him like a lot of flack, and I don't understand why. Like, I mean, he is a former WWE champion. As far as like how he got the championship match, it is what it is. Like I feel like he's a good fighter. Like he could talk on the mic. He understands his character work. I mean, it is what it is. Like he got it. I mean, what are you gonna do? But we open up the segment with Cody Rhodes. He comes out and he lets everybody knows that like his intentions is to, basically finish his story and finally become the first member of his family to become a world champion and things of that nature. He's gonna be he's gonna win the Royal Rumble and all those good things. And then out comes Drew McIntyre. So surprisingly, they go down memory lane because they did used to be a tag team probably 10 or 15 years ago. Like, I don't know, like the exact date, but like some years ago, like in their little tenure, which they kind of have like similar stories. Like they both were like kind of chosen to be the chosen ones or the next ones to like be like a big, huge face of the company and things of that nature. But it didn't come to be, at least at that particular time frame, but that they were both in WWE, and then they kind of got exiled and got let go. Well, in Cody's case, I think he asked for his request, and for Drew, they kind of just gave him his walking papers. But basically, they I think they were called the Dashing Ones or something like that, I believe, and they were also tag team champion partners as well. So then he lets Cody know surprisingly that I'm happy for you, and I'm proud of you, the man that you've become, and all those good things, and that you're gonna become the first world champion of your family, and you are gonna finish your story. And I was like, wow, okay. Like I said before, I didn't expect him to say any of all those things because Drew was kind of more on that heel spectrum. So for him to say that, I was like, okay, but let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. So he let him know that, hey, you're gonna finish your story, but not before I finish mine. He's gonna win the Royal Rumble, and it's not gonna be Cody. So he lets it be known that, hey, I'm here too, and you just not gonna step on my toes. It is what it is. So they get into words back and forth, and they said in so many words that, hey, it is what it is. It's up and it's stuck, and whatever happens, hey, it happens. And Cody let him know before, they ended the segment is, yeah, what happened in that last match between you and I? Who won? And I was like, oh, whew, burn. So Cody ain't coming to play. Like, obviously, like, to be honest, Cody is the face of WWE, and I'm happy for him. Like, that man really worked hard and he did his thing. Like, he took his loss honorably, and he said, look, it is what it is. I lost at WrestleMania last year. This year is going to be my year. We're going to see how everything like unfolds and things like that. But in the next segment, R-Truth, I hope they giving that man top dollar, because he is just, his comedic timing is just impeccable. Like, so basically, just to make a long story short, he gets approached by the Judgment Day member Damian Priest, and he let it be known like, hey, you know what I'm saying, you can't keep claiming that you're part of Judgment Day and you're selling merch and this, that, and the third. So R-Truth comes out with this money. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but it was fake. It was some fake dollars, and he was all like, yeah, I gave you a cut. The Judgment Day members get a cut of the money, And I believe they asked him, Damon asked him, does JD get a cut too? His name ain't on the shirt, so no. I was like, wow. So he's like, look, you can sell the merch, but just don't be loud about it or whatever. Yeah, but thank you. I let the team know and all that stuff. It was just so crazy, like how everything like went down. But it was I was thoroughly entertained, to be honest. But moving on to the next segment, it was do it yourself team DIY, which is wow, I was about to say somebody else. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, like against Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. Wow, like this match actually lasted a little bit longer than what I thought it was. It was really good, a really, really good match. Back and forth, frequent tags. At one point in time, I remember before the break, I think they was like doing something like on the outside of the ring, and it was just all over the place. But it was like a really good high impact match. Like the match ends with DIY getting the win. They did the little it was like a double team move where like the person is like in the middle and then they both do the like drop kick or whatever, and then 1, 2, 3, they are steadfast on Judgment Day, facing the Judgment Day for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, which consist of Damian Priest and Finn Balor. We're gonna see how that whole storyline progresses and everything like that. But all over, it was all around, it was like a really good match, high impact, all that other good stuff. I hope DIY at some point, definitely if it's not going to be an edition of Raw, it definitely needs to be at WrestleMania. Like they deserve, like after all the hard work and everything, to be another one of those tag teams that also had won. I believe they won the NXT tag team championships. If they didn't, let me know. Comment down below. But I believe they did win it at one point. But they'll be one of the rare ones to have those championships and then become the undisputed tag team champions. So we're going to see how everything unfolds. But overall, it was a good match. After that, we get to Candace and Indy. They talk with the GM of Raw, which is Adam Pearce, and they let it be known that, they want to, make it their year and, become women's tag team champions again, but this time on the main roster. Now, I do know that they were women's tag team champions because they did show a packet of them when they actually won it. But here comes Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and they let it be known, well, we are also still in the line and this, that, and the third of becoming women's tag team champions or whatever. But mind you, they lost their rematch. So they technically are on the back of the line. But Adam Pearce let it be known that, we're going to have basically like a number one contenders match, like of sorts. So they ended up in a tag team match. They ended up losing, of course, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. I mean, it was a fairly short match. It ended with what's her name? Candice LeRae. She ends up doing the lion salt like off the ropes, and then Indy Hartwell grabbed, I think it was Chelsea, and she was like, her legs or whatever was on the rope. She was dangling, and she like pulled her. I wish she would have pulled her up a little bit more because it looked like it kind of botched a little bit. I don't know if it, like y'all seen it, but like it looked like it kind of looked a little botched when she like landed. But I think it's because she should have pulled her up a little bit more, so that way the move wouldn't have never looked kind of floppy. But it was a good match. It was kind of short, kind of tagged in and out here and there, but overall it was decent. It was there, to be honest. But moving on, it was the Judgment Day segment. He talks with Damian Priest talks with the Judgment Day, and he lets it be known that he was the only one that approached R-Truth about, selling the merch and this, that, and the third, and, basically letting, throwing around his weight and his dominance and stuff. So he let it be known that he was selling merch, but he got a cut of it, and the Judgment Day gets a cut, and JD was all like, oh, do I get a cut? He said, well, your name's on the shirt, so no. I was like, oh, they really do that man dirty. Don't do my man JD like that. Like, that man sit up there and he got the worst RKO ever. Okay? At Survivor Series. They threw that man in the War Games match on top of the cage and then got caught with the RKO. Like, that was wild. Like, and then for y'all to treat that man like that, like, oh, well, hey, I guess he's the member. Like, that was just so, like, crazy to me. So, we get on to the next segment. It was, Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, in a segment tonight. He comes out and he let it be known that he, smells the desperation of everybody coming out to, I guess, get their last little hoorah out and this, that, and the third. And, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble as well, and he's going to win it. So, I mean, we're going to see how that is. I have my own predictions of who I think is going to win. I'm going to save that in another video, thumbnail, and things like that. So be on the lookout for that as well. He let it be known that, he's proud of Liquid Kaiser for taking revenge for his fallen Imperial member. I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember that man's name. But comment down below if you remember. But basically, his team member, he got revenge for him, and he was giving him his props this, and third. So Xavier Woods comes out, and he lets it be known that he don't appreciate Liquid Kaiser attacking Kofi Kingston. Oh my goodness. All these names. So basically he challenges him. He lets it be known that he airs all those grievances and let it be known like, hey, I want to, challenge you. So he accepts the challenge. They ended up in a scuffle. Like it was a very nasty back and forth, like brawling, like just more so of like them just swinging more than like wrestling holds. Like, you can tell, like, they're really, like, putting forth an effort to really make this believable. And wow. it got to the point where, like, Xavier Woods was, like, leaking out the mouth and everything. Like, I don't know if he accidentally bit his own lip or, maybe he chipped his tooth or something. But, like, he looked at it looked crazy. So, the match ended in a disqualification. Because Liquid Kaiser tried to throw a chair at Xavier Woods. He ducks, and then he ends up hitting him with a chair. And then it was just, like, chaotic. Like, they end up, like, in a big scuffle to the point where, like, he was about to hit him with the steel chair, Xavier Woods was. And then after that, like, he wound up getting kicked in the face with the chair. I was like, ooh, that was gnarly. So then he ends up, like, they end up in a situation where, like, Xavier got the best of him, and he wound up getting the steel steps or whatever, trying to throw it out, and it actually hit the ring post, and he ducks, like, right in time, and he got out of there. Like, it was a very, very, like, intense match. Like, it was kind of hard to watch for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like he was all leaking out his mouth and stuff. Like, it looked bad, but it, like, overall was a really good match. I think the results of it actually it made sense for it to end like that, but we're gonna see like how that rivalry like unfolds. But yeah, it was really good. I can't wait until their team member comes back though, Imperium. So the next segment, it was Tozawa versus Ivar. I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't like a whole lot to really talk about with this match. They had a nice little back and forth. It's kind of a little bit more one-sided, where Ivar was like taking control of the match. But in the end, Maxine Dupree ends up distracting Ivar, and then he winds up getting rolled up, and Tozawa ends up getting the dub. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, he rolls him out 1, 2, 3, like, yeah, one, yeah. So then Valhalla, if I'm saying that name right, she ends up like attacking Maxine like from behind. She ends up beating her up, and then Tozawa ends up getting beat up as well. He lays him out. Ivar gets on the top rope. He ends up doing that moonsault. I just, oh my goodness, like, my heart just always be like, oh my goodness, because that is a big guy. Like, for him to be that big and do like that moonsault off the top rope and then just lands so perfectly like that. That is like against gravity rules. It really is. That man is huge. He just does that moonsault just effortlessly. It don't even look like he be struggling to do. He just whoo, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like that is crazy. But yeah, so we going into the next segment. The Alpha Academy lets it be known that basically Chad Gable is going to be against Ivar next week. And then also Ivy Nile, in the midst of them like talking amongst each other, she said, enough, I'm going to resolve this. So it's going to be Ivy Nile and Valhalla in a match next week. So we're going to see how everything turns out. But yeah, Chad Gable definitely is underrated. Just a little sidebar, like he really is like a really great wrestler. He reminds me so much of Kurt Angle. Is ridiculous. Like I'm actually surprised that like Chad Gable wasn't the one to win the Intercontinental Championship, and I think he does deserve to win it at some point. But we'll like I said, we'll just see like how everything develops and everything turns out. But he definitely deserves his flowers because that man is like his wrestling skills is top tier. Like it's ridiculous how he's not like a champion by now. I mean, dang, a mid-card championship, something like damn, like but. Anywho's the next segment, Rhea comes out. She says it's her division. Mommy's always on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And, yeah, so then that's when, oh, my goodness, I'm about to say another name. Becky Lynch comes out. And then she lets it be known that, you know what I'm saying, like, Rhea, you know, just to make a long story short, she lets it be known that, you know, when I think about you, sometimes, like, I think that you're better than me. So I have to prove that I'm, you know, that you're not. Like, you are, like, you've been dominating. You did your thing. We both have similar paths. Like, we both come from, you know, across the pond, basically. And we had a dream to become, like, you know, successful in WWE. And that, you know, they're both basically doing the same things in the same lanes and stuff. But you know, one of us had main evented WrestleMania, another one hasn't, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how, like, everything turns out, and then they have their little back and forth, and Rhea basically tells her, you know, I'll see you at WrestleMania, but they have, a nice back and forth. I don't mind her and Becky and Rhea, you know, fighting at WrestleMania, but I don't know how I feel about Becky winning the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, I feel like we need some new blood to, like, win the Royal Rumble. Like, I don't want to see a repeat offender. Don't get me wrong. Becky is a great competitor. She is great at what she does. Great storytelling, great wrestler. She does her thing. But I just feel like you need to give somebody else, like, that opportunity. She could win at an Elimination Chamber #1 contender match and then fight Rhea that way. It's just... I'm tired of the same people winning championships all over and over and over again. I want to see different, and I want to see someone new get those top level opportunities, because at the end of the day, like, you know, who else is going to be the next? Like, who is going to be the next superstar? Like, we have to give other women, other people just in general, like, you know, new spots to thrive. And I just feel like, you know, it is what it is, but we'll see how everything goes. I just don't feel like she should win the Royal Rumble. That's just my honest opinion. Great wrestler, she does her thing, but let someone new win the world championship. World championship, just period. Whether it be women, men, whoever. Let someone else, you know, be in that top spot. But we get to the next segment, and it is Seth Rollins, and he basically says that, you know, Jinder Mahal is, you know, who he is, but he ain't Seth freaking Rollins, so we're getting hyped up for the World Championship match, which is the main event. But we are not at the main event right now, because, you know, Raw is 3 hours. So so the next event, I'm going to just go ahead and get into it. It was The Miz and R-Truth versus the Judgment Day. And I almost forgot to say that earlier in the night when Damian was talking to R-Truth, he let it be known that don't tag out. So R-Truth starts the match. So he didn't even tag anyway. Like, he started the match, should I say. So him and JD, I believe, like, locked horns in the ring, and then they did their little thing. Make a long story short, R-Truth loses. He gets pinned by Finn Balor because Damian wound up coming in and saving the day. It looked like, to be honest, like if it wasn't for R-Truth's like hesitation, he might would have beat Finn Balor, but nope. He hits the South of Heaven, and then Finn Balor ends up, pinning him 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Like, it was a really good match. We get to the next segment. It was Jinder Mahal. He basically lets it be known that he was talking kind of in riddles. I don't remember everything that he said, but he said that he's going to win the world championship. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted him to a little bit, and it did. Okay, when we get into that segment, then I'll talk about my everything like that. So basically, we get to the next segment. It is basically Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, it's not like a whole lot to talk about. He said that he's gonna be into the Royal Rumble and he's gonna win it. Honest opinion, like, and I swear that I'm not even trying to be like to shade this man, but do y'all actually feel like he's gonna win the Royal Rumble? Just a question. But moving on. We get to Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks. It was actually a better match up than it was, I think, the weeks prior that they had wrestled before. But, it was basically the same results. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler won again against Natalya and Tegan Nox. It was a better match, but I'm not gonna lie. I hope we kind of move fast from this thing, but I'm gonna just go ahead and move on. But it was a pretty decent match. So now after almost 3 hours, we are at the main event. So it is Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for the World Championship. Oh, and Jinder Mahal brought in this year. So I didn't even know he was going to bring his henchmen out, but hey, I was like, oh man, I think they just might pull the trigger. They might just let him go ahead and win it. And I would have never been mad about it. Like, when I seen Indus I was like, it's no way in the world. And then with Damian Priest too, like, come on, like the match, it starts off really hot and heavy. Like they, brawling out, they fighting and everything like that. And in the midway before the break, Damian Priest came out, like I said earlier. So I'm like, man, are they really gonna pull the trigger? They gonna finally, let Seth Rollins championship reign go? Like, what's gonna happen? They not gonna wait their Mania? But I'm gonna just go ahead and get into the results. It ended up like Damian looked like he was gonna cash in, and of course, Drew McIntyre comes out, and they ended up swabbling it and stuff, and then he ends up in the back. So in the midst of all that happening, like, in this year winds up like the henchman hits Seth Rollins with this briefcase that Damian left behind. So he ends up hitting him with the briefcase. He hits his finisher, because I believe this was the second finisher he hit. So then after he did that, he pinned him, and then he kicked out. 2 near falls. I'm like, what in the... He got hit with a briefcase. How in the world did he kick out of that? I was like, this man about to win again. He hits the curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. He retains the world championship. I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie, like, I do want Seth Rollins' championship reign to end. Like, I just feel like where they're leaning towards is, maybe I should save it for another video, but I got my own predictions on when they're gonna actually pull the trigger on Damian Priest's final cash-in. I just hope it's not an unsuccessful one, because Damian Priest really have worked hard to put over the Judgment Day. Like, I feel like he's the unsung leader of Judgment Day, to be honest. Like, he wears that crown very very well. He has done his thing. Like, he puts on good matches. He is really like putting on bangers. I feel like he should have won, and he did win the Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's well deserving of it. Like I hope they do not. I hope they don't Austin Theory him and have him lose because he deserves to be the world champion. To be honest, like after all the hard work that he put in, like I just feel like it shouldn't go in vain. Like y'all needed to really show appreciation to that man because he is really doing this big one. But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. Let me know how did you feel about the Raw show. I felt like it was a really pretty decent show. Like to be honest, in my opinion, if I do say so myself. But let me know how you guys feel about the Raw from last night, MLK edition, and comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know how this thing go. And it's this TJ signing out. Peace out.